Hello, welcome to IELTS Resource Center podcast, where we dive deep into the world of IELTS preparation. I am Mr. George, your host, and I'm thrilled to bring your essential tips, strategies, and expert advice to help you reach your desired IELTS score. Today, I will be bringing to you an interactive learning experience from IELTS Resource Center online coaching session. Stay tuned.
All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the IELTS reading section.
Oh, the IELTS reading section.
Yeah, specifically those true, false, not given questions.
Ah, TFNG.
Yeah, TFNG. Those questions can be a real pain.
They really can.
Even for experienced test takers, they can be tricky.
Absolutely. And they're so important for a good score.
Exactly. So we got to figure out how to crack the code on these things.
Well, you're in luck. We've got some great insights from Mr. George.
Oh, from the IELTS Resource Center.
That's right. He's got these wisdom keys, as he calls them.
Wisdom keys. That sounds kind of mysterious.
He does have a way with words.
So what are these wisdom keys all about?
Well, they're all about recognizing the common pitfalls that trip people up on TFNG questions.
Okay, pitfalls like what?
Like overthinking.
Right, overthinking.
Misinterpreting synonyms.
Synonyms, tricky.
And relying on background knowledge instead of sticking to the text.
Oh yeah, that's a big one, thinking you know more than you do.
Exactly. And that can lead to choosing false when the answer is actually not given.
So the first wisdom key is to basically be super careful with the text.
That's a great way to put it. Careful reading and comparison.
Comparison, right? Comparing the statement to the passage.
You got it. First, understand the statement, highlight those keywords.
Keywords, got it.
Then scan the passage for the relevant section.
Scanning, moving your eyes quickly to find the information you need.
Exactly. And then compare. Do the statement and the text say the same thing?
Or do they contradict each other?
Or is there just no mention of what the statement is talking about?
Okay, so no making things up.
Right. Let's imagine our friends, Chinello and Olofilosin, are tackling these questions.
They're taking the IELTS too.
They are. Let's say the passage says, while most Nigerian farmers rely on traditional farming methods, the use of irrigation systems is becoming increasingly common.
Okay, so irrigation is becoming more common, but not everyone's using it yet.
Right. Now the statement is, all Nigerian farmers use irrigation systems.
Janella, what do you think?
Chinella says, well, the passage says irrigation is more common, but it doesn't say all farmers use it.
Right, most still use traditional methods, it says.
Exactly. So Oluwatosin, true, false, or not given. Oluwatosin confidently says false.
False, yeah, because it contradicts the passage.
Exactly. They're applying that first wisdom key, careful reading, and comparison.
Nice work, Chinello and Oluwatosin.
Now, let's try another one. The statement is, the Nigerian government provides subsidies for fertilizer.
Subsidies, okay. That's a new element.
Right. And here's where that trap of using background knowledge comes in.
Like, we might have heard something about fertilizer subsidies somewhere else.
But the passage itself doesn't mention them at all.
So even if we think it's probably true,
The answer has to be.
not given,
Yeah,
because it's not in the text.
you got it.
That's tough, but it makes sense.
It does. And to really drive this home, Mr. George has these great illustrations.
Illustrations?
Yeah, real-world examples that make the concepts click.
Ooh, I like that.
For example, he might ask his students, is everyone in Lagos wearing a blue shirt today?
Okay, obviously not everyone in Lagos is wearing a blue shirt.
Right. Just because we see a few people wearing blue shirts doesn't mean it applies to everyone.
That's like those TFNG statements that make sweeping generalizations.
Exactly. It's a reminder to stick to the specific details in the text and not make assumptions.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got careful reading, avoiding assumptions, and now these illustrations.
And that's just the beginning. Mr. George has a whole arsenal of wisdom keys to help us conquer TFNG.
This is already so helpful. I feel like I'm starting to understand these questions in a whole new way.
I'm glad to hear that. And remember, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the better you'll get at spotting those tricky TFNG traps.
All right, I'm ready to tackle some more practice questions now. This has been super insightful. Thanks for breaking it down for us.
You're welcome. Remember, with the right strategies and a bit of practice, anyone can master TFNG.
That's encouraging. I'm feeling much more confident about tackling these questions now.
That's the spirit.
All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and dive into another challenging aspect of the IELTS reading section. Matching headings.
Sounds good. We'll be back soon with more tips and tricks to help you ace the IELTS reading section. Stay tuned. Okay, so we've been talking about Mr. George's wisdom keys for true, false, not given.
Those have been super helpful.
Right. Careful reading, comparison, not overgeneralizing.
Right.
But he also talks about something else that can really trip people up.
What's that?
Using outside knowledge.
Oh, like bringing in stuff we already know.
Exactly. He says the IELTS reading section isn't about what you already know.
It's about what's in the passage.
Exactly. You got to focus on the information right there in front of you.
It's like putting on blinders.
That's a great way to put it. He calls it active reading.
Active reading, okay.
You're actively engaging with the text, not letting your mind wander off.
So no matter how tempting it is, we got to resist using our own knowledge.
Resist the temptation. Stick to the passage.
Got it. But how do we know what to focus on in the text?
That's where those keywords come in.
Keywords, yeah.
And especially those little words that can change the whole meaning of a statement.
Oh, you mean like all, always, never?
Exactly. Some, most, often, rarely. Those are all important.
They're like little traps.
They can be. For example, let's say the passage says, some Nigerian students prefer online learning due to its flexibility.
Okay, some students prefer online learning.
But then the statement says, most Nigerian students prefer online learning.
Ah, so it's changed from some to most.
Right, and that makes a big difference.
So even though both mention online learning, the statement is actually false.
Exactly. Those qualifiers can be sneaky. Gotta watch out for them.
Sneaky little qualifiers.
And of course, Mr. George has a great illustration for this too.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that.
He always does. Imagine a passage that says, egusi soup is a popular dish in Nigeria, enjoyed for its rich, nutty flavor.
Okay, egusi soup, delicious.
But then the statement says, all Nigerians love egusi soup.
Oh, here we go again with these generalizations.
Right. Just because something is popular doesn't mean everyone loves it.
It's like saying all Nigerians love jollof rice.
Exactly. Not everyone has the same taste, even if something is common.
So the answer in this case would be?
Not given.
Yeah.
Because the passage doesn't say that all Nigerians love egusi soup.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
It's all about avoiding those sweeping statements.
And paying attention to those tricky qualifiers.
You got it.
This is making so much more sense now.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, with practice, you'll get the hang of it.
Practice, practice, practice.
Exactly.
Hey, before we move on, can we talk a bit more about scanning?
Scanning?
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, like moving your eyes quickly over the text.
Oh, right, yeah. Scanning is super important for the IELTS reading section.
It's all about finding the information you need quickly.
Exactly. You're not reading every single word. You're looking for specific keywords.
Keywords related to the statement.
Right. It's like using your eyes as a searchlight.
A searchlight, I like that.
You're pinpointing the information you need, not getting lost in the details.
So it's not speed reading, it's more like targeted reading.
Exactly. And the more you practice scanning, the better you'll get at it.
Okay, that makes sense. I need to practice my scanning skills.
It's a game changer for sure.
This has been so helpful. I feel like I'm finally understanding how to approach these TFNG questions.
That's great to hear. Remember, with the right strategies, anyone can master this.
Starting to believe that.
Good. Now, ready for another challenge?
Oh boy, what's next?
Let's talk about matching headings.
Matching headings, those can be a real brain twister.
They can be, but we're going to break them down and make them manageable.
Okay, I'm ready. Bring it on. All right, we've tackled true, false, not given.
Using Mr. George's wisdom keys, of course.
Of course, those were lifesavers. But now we're on to another challenge.
Matching headings.
Yeah, matching headings. Those can feel like a real puzzle.
They can be tricky.
Yeah, like trying to fit square pegs into round holes sometimes.
I get it. But they're not as scary as they seem.
Okay, so how do we approach these matching headings questions?
Well, first, remember what they're really testing.
What's that?
Your ability to grasp the main idea of a paragraph or section.
So it's like summarizing the text in a few words.
Exactly, like finding the theme or the topic of that chunk of text.
Okay, so we're looking for the big picture, not getting bogged down in details.
Right. And Mr. George, he has a really systematic way to tackle this.
Oh, I bet he does. Mr. George always has a system.
He does. First step, understand the question format.
Okay, so we're given a list of headings.
Right. Each heading represents the main idea of a paragraph.
And we have to match them correctly.
That's it. Next step, read those headings carefully.
Before even looking at the passage.
Exactly. Really understand what each heading means.
Okay, so take some time with those headings.
Yeah, you can even try grouping similar ones together mentally.
That's smart. So you don't get confused later.
Exactly. Now it's time to skim the passage.
Skimming, not reading every word.
Right, you're looking for the main idea of each paragraph.
And how do we find that main idea?
Pay attention to the first sentence.
The topic sentence.
Yes, it often tells you what the whole paragraph is about.
That reminds me of Ada.
Ada, our IELTS superstar.
Yeah. She said topic sentences were her secret weapon for matching headings.
She's a great example of how understanding paragraph structure can help.
So, for example, if a paragraph starts with something like, the impact of rising sea levels on coastal communities is a growing concern.
You know right away that the paragraph is about the negative effects of rising sea levels.
And you can match it with a heading like, consequences for coastal regions.
Exactly. Once you've skimmed the passage, it's time to start matching.
Okay, so we compare our understanding of the headings with the main ideas we found.
Right. Use those mental categories you made earlier.
But what if we're stuck between two headings?
That happens. Focus on the primary purpose of the paragraph.
Not just a small detail.
Right. Look for synonyms or paraphrased ideas that match the heading.
Okay, so if a heading focuses on something that's only briefly mentioned, it's probably not the best match.
You got it. Eliminate headings that contradict the paragraph or are completely unrelated.
Makes sense. Can we try a practice example?
Absolutely. Imagine a passage that says, Nigerian cuisine is known for its diversity, incorporating influences from various regions and cultures. Staple ingredients include yams, rice, plantains, and a variety of spices.
Okay, so Nigerian food, very diverse.
Right. Now, here are your heading options. 1, the role of spices in Nigerian cuisine. 2, regional variations in Nigerian food. And 3, the rich tapestry of Nigerian flavors.
They all seem relevant.
They do. But which one captures the overall idea of the paragraph?
The paragraph emphasizes the diversity of Nigerian cuisine, right?
Yes. Influences from different regions and cultures.
So I think the best match is heading number 3, the rich tapestry of Nigerian flavors.
You nailed it. While spices and regional variations are mentioned, they're not the main focus.
Okay, I see that now. It's all about seeing the big picture.
Exactly. And just like with TFNG, practice is key.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Well, Mr. George actually says, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect.
That makes more sense. Practice with intention, focusing on the strategies.
Exactly. And speaking of Mr. George, he offers an intensive IELTS course.
At the IELTS Resource Center.
That's right. It's helped so many candidates achieve their desired schools.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
He really goes the extra mile, providing personalized feedback and guidance.
That sounds amazing. It could be a game changer for anyone struggling with these reading questions.
It really could. He dives deeper into these concepts, gives targeted strategies, and lots of practice exercises.
So if you're serious about acing the IELTS reading section, check out Mr. George's course.
It's definitely worth considering.
Well, folks, we've explored true, false, not given, and matching headings.
Armed with Mr. George's wisdom keys.
Those wisdom keys are like gold. Remember, careful reading, strategic skimming, and understanding the question types are key.
And don't forget to practice. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Absolutely. Keep those wisdom keys in mind, stay curious, and good luck on your IELTS journey.
You got this.
Achieve your IELTS goals with Mr. George. Get ready for IELTS success with personalized guidance from Mr. George Expert Coaching at IELTS Resource Center. With years of experience and passion for teaching, they provide tailored strategies, practical exercises, and real-time feedback to help you reach your target band score. Subscribe now to access exclusive materials, personalized coaching, and flexible online sessions that fit within your schedule. This is your chance to learn from the best and confidently for every session of the IELTS exam. For more information, call or WhatsApp us at 09052964864 or 07083458307.